Simon Marks is across the story for CNA. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. So, Simon, the scandal's dragnet getting deeper and wider and threatens to ensnare President Trump as well. So he's denied any wrongdoing, saying he's been exonerated by the Justice Department. But has he, and can he avoid being questioned or prosecuted if there are grounds?
Well, the answer to the first question, Julie, is he clearly hasn't been exonerated. I mean, there have been no documents released that lead anyone to find that President Trump engaged in nefarious or possibly criminal activities as a result of his association with Jeffrey Epstein. And of course, President Trump denies any criminal or nefarious activities. He also claims to have been absolved by the 3 million pages of documents that were released late last month. But there are now new questions, particularly about one claim that was made against the president and Mr. Epstein by a woman who was interviewed in 2019. The release of the files last month suggested she was interviewed only once. In fact, investigative journalists have now discovered that she was interviewed a total of 4 times. And so the Democrats and some dissident Republicans are saying that the Department of Justice now needs to release any other documents that it has in its possession. And they've got 3 million other pages that they've not yet released. The Department of Justice says it's looking into the specific claims about those FBI interviews with that woman who claims that she was abused by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in the 1980s when she was approximately 13 years old. And the Department of Justice says if it finds anything relevant, it will release them as the law requires. As to whether President Trump can ever be called to testify, I mean, Republicans on the committee clearly are never going to do that. But even if they did, thanks to a Supreme Court opinion, President Trump enjoys, as every American president now does, immunity for any acts committed while he was president of the United States, though not, of course, immunity for any acts committed before he was president of the United States.
Simon, the president aside, there's been growing criticism that this whole affair has seen little happening in the U.S. itself, where Epstein was a citizen, obviously, and where a good number of his crimes were allegedly committed. So can you tell us why the apparent lack of resolve? And could this change as the pressure mounts?
Well, look, I mean, we have seen a lot of people losing their perches as a result of the release of those Epstein files, many of them working for investment banks, white-collar law firms, universities. Larry Summers at Harvard University became one of the latest this week to say that he's giving up his position there. But there are no, as far as we know, active criminal investigations of any of those people or others similar to the ones that we're seeing in the UK levelled against Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Lord Mandelson. One of the reasons for that, of course, according to the Democrats, they say that Republicans in the Department of Justice and in Congress are engaged in a cover-up. President Trump says there's nothing to find about him or other figures within his inner circle that would lead to any embarrassment or certainly any kind of criminal investigation. So unless and until more documents come tumbling out of the Department of Justice with incriminating information contained within them, we seem to be in a situation where politicians are very unlikely in this country to be facing the kind of criminal investigations that some public figures are facing overseas.
Simon, as always, appreciate the update. Simon Marks reporting for CNA from Washington, D.C.